So, true creators, you want to know how to use dispatchers. You're in the right place. We're going to create a warning system that you can use in your personal projects. Let's get started. Okay, so to start out with, we're going to go over to the Edit tab, Editor Preferences, and we're going to start with the editor location opening in the main window. Okay, we're going to close that, do a Control-Shift-S to save. And then what we want to do here is we're going to undock this sidebar here, or I'm sorry, not the world settings. We can dock that back. We're going to undock the sidebar of the details. And then we're also we can undock the outliner as well. And then to start out with, let's go ahead, we're gonna create something called a nav mesh, because in order to have our AI chase us in our warning system, we're going to need to create the actual characters, and they're gonna need to be able to walk around. So let's go ahead and go to this icon here, and we're gonna go to the volume, and we're gonna grab this nav mesh bound. We're gonna put it right here. And then what we need to do is we're gonna change the scale a bit. So for this first one here, we're just gonna go with, let's say 17. And then for, I think this middle one here, yeah, no, this next one, we're gonna do 17 again. And then for the one right here, we're just gonna go ahead and do 5, okay? And that should completely cover our space here. Hit the P key in order to see the actual nav mesh, okay? And then we'll make sure we always save frequently. Okay, now let's go ahead over to the content drawer, into the third person, and then finally into the blueprints. We're gonna put all of our logic here. So let's start by doing our warning system. So we're gonna right click and we're gonna select the blueprint class. The class we wanna select is just a plain actor. We're gonna call this BP underscore warning system. Control-Shift-S, and then just go ahead and double click. Now that we have it open, first thing we're gonna need to do is we're gonna add a collision. It's gonna call it a box collision is what we want. So just type in box, and we can just add that. Now, for this box, we're gonna use the following measurements. So we're gonna leave the scale at 1. We're going to leave this one, we're gonna put this one at 5 actually. And we're gonna put this one at 5 as well, okay? So that's how it should look. Hit compile and save. Now, let's go ahead and get into the event graph. Now, for the event graph here, we're going to need to, first of all, delete all this because we won't need it. And then we're going to, do a compile and save. And then right here, we're gonna select our box. We're gonna scroll down a bit. And what we're gonna do is on component begin overlap, we're gonna click that and it's gonna create this event, okay? And what we want right here is for this other actor, we can drag off here and we're gonna do a cast to third person character, okay? So that's the character we're gonna affect. So when the player walks over this box, that's the only thing that can trigger it. Now, we're gonna need to create our event dispatcher, which is this right here. And we're gonna call this, let's call it intruder. Let's see, hold on, intruder alert dispatcher. Okay, just give it a name. And then what we want to do is we want to drag it out and we want to do the call event, okay? So we want to do a intruder call alert dispatcher. This is what we want. And we're just going to set that up, okay? And then, so we know our dispatcher has been activated, we're going to do a print string. And we're just going to make it a simple print string. We're gonna change this text color to like maybe an orange, I guess you could do red or orange. It's up to you. Hit OK. And then for the message, we just wanna put intruder alert. do a compile and save. Now, with this, and then all this is doing is, picture this. You're going to take this intruder alert. Every time someone walks over this, you're going to have this call out to other different blueprints in the level. And I'm going to show you that by doing 2 lights and 2 actual people. Okay? Okay, and we can leave this up for now. Let's go ahead and hit the content folder again, and we're going to make another actor. And this is going to be our warning light, okay? So let's go ahead and do a blueprint actor class, get the actor, and we're going to call this, see, BP underscore warning light 1. Now, the reason I do that, I always enable everything 1 and 2 and everything in case I need to duplicate the logic, and I'll show you that later, okay? Do a Control-Shift-S. Let's go ahead and open that up. Now, right here, we're going to need to add 2 static meshes. So let's get 1 static mesh, hit enter, add again, another static mesh, hit enter, okay? Now for this, we don't need them underneath each other. They can both have their own, both of them are attached to the scene root. And then for this top one, we're just gonna type in light mesh, just to differentiate it, okay? Compile and save. And then right here, we're going to need to put the sphere. Okay, I'm sorry. While this is highlighted, we're going to select the sphere for the static mesh field, okay? Oh, sorry, not static mesh. We need a sphere, sorry. Okay, sphere. Let's look down. I think this is the one we want to use, this shape underscore sphere, okay? Scroll out a little bit. Now for this bottom one, we're going to highlight it, do the same thing, but we're going to pick a different one called cylinder. Okay, and we don't want this one. I'm using this one right here. Okay, now I know it looks kind of weird, but it's okay. So for the scale of this, we're going to change the scale. Remember, we're on the cylinder, so we're going to change the scale to 0.5 in the first field, 10 in the second field, and then 0.5 again. Okay. And we want to rotate this. I believe it's on, I'm thinking this right here, 90 degrees. Okay, nope, that's not what we want. So we're gonna fix that. Okay. No, so I'm sorry, it was this first one. So we're gonna flip this one 90 degrees. That's what we want. Now, while we're at it, we're going to go back to our light mesh and we're going to raise it up a bit just to make sure it sits there nice and neatly on the top of this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can even, you can put it to where it's into it a little bit. That's okay. Now, we're gonna go back and select our regular static mesh, which is the pole here, and we're gonna give it a unique material. We're gonna give it, let's see, M space tech, and it's gonna be this one right here, this M tech pulse. There we go, our futuristic light warning system pole. Perfect. Let's go ahead and hit compile and save. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our event graph. Now, here in the event graph, we don't need these 2 down here. We can go ahead and delete those. And what we want to do is we're going to create a couple nodes here. This first one is going to be called Get Actors of All Class. And what we want to put for the actor of all classes, we want to type in that BP warning. Let's see, warning system. We want our warning system. That's what we want. Compile, save, scroll over a bit. And we're going to drag off of here and we're going to bind event, bind event to intruder alert, it should be. See, intruder alert dispatcher. So this is what we want right here, okay? Now, right here, we're going to need to create an event. So we're gonna right click and you could just type in the word CUST. And we're just gonna call this custom event fire dispatcher, okay? Hey guys, quick interrupt. So this is, I just want to show you real quick what we're going to be learning in the rest of the tutorial. It's going to go a little bit like this. If you're enjoying the content, subscribe. If you like the video, then like the video. All right, back to the content. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we're going to be firing, and that's going to be the logic for our flashing light. So we're going to make some flashing light logic. So we're going to do a CUST, custom event again, and we're just going to call this flashing lights, okay? And what we want to do is we want to grab this light mesh and drag it down here, drag it off of here, and we're just going to do a set material, okay? And we're going to hook that up. Now, before we go any further, I want to make sure we take this particular right here. Oh, and I spelled it really wrong. Let me see. Flashing lights. We're going to take this flashing light right here, and we're just going to drag, well, actually, we're going to right click, and we're just going to type in flashing lights. And we're just going to add that to here. So all that is a custom event that's right here. So it triggers here, but it's right here. So it's just a way to organize code, okay? Now, we're going to need to copy this set material a couple times. So, but before we do that, let's just go ahead and hold down the D button and do a left click, and that's going to create a delay, okay? Then what we can do is we can select this and do a Control D here, and that will let us copy that. Then we're going to go over and we can, let's see, let's do a 0.25 here. Let's do that. And we can highlight this and do a Control D, hook that up. And see, got it. Yeah, we're gonna have to set the material again. So just highlight it, Control D. And then right here, we're gonna hold down the D button and do a delay again. And for this right here, we're gonna do 0.4 seconds. And then we're gonna re-loop that flashing lights back. So we're just gonna right click and type in flashing lights. So that way, once this is activated, it's just gonna repeat in a loop, changing the color of the actual sphere, okay? But in order to do that, we need to grab the material we're gonna change the sphere to, okay? Make sure you do a compile and save. Oh, that's why you compile and save. So right here, you gotta make sure that we hook up the material here. So we're gonna double click right here, create a reroute node, drag this down here, and we wanna make sure we hook up all of our materials to that particular mesh. And then finally, this one. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, not that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, so go ahead and hit a compile and save. And then now, because we're targeting that particular mesh, okay? Okay, so let's go back to our content drawer. We're gonna go to content. We're gonna select the filter here, and we're just gonna select material. Now, for the material here, we're just gonna type in the word vertex. Vert, I wanna say it's vertex. And actually, you know what? Let's go to the all. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. So if you select all and then the filter, you'll get the vertex here. I'm gonna raise this up to make it clear for you guys. And right here, we're gonna want to highlight this blue one, and we can go ahead and hit this little arrow here, and that'll populate that field. Next, we wanna have a red color, and then we can populate it, and that'll select that field. And then finally, for the final vertex color, we want just the plain white. So we can just choose, let's see, I guess this vertex white right here is fine. And we could do that. We want to do a compile and a save. So that should be the logic for this, but we're gonna need to create our little former police officer, our guard. So let's go ahead and go back to the content folder. Let's just go ahead and reset the filters because we don't need to do that now. We're gonna select this little arrow here and select content. And we can go ahead and X out of this if you have that and then go into the third person, back into the blueprint. Now, we're going to highlight the third person character. Oh, didn't mean to double click. Let me close that back out. Highlight the person, do a control D, and we're going to just call this BP underscore police 1. Okay. We're going to do a control shift S. And then what we can do is we're going to double click and go into it. Okay. Now, for this, we don't need all of this. So we can just go ahead and we can delete that. The other thing we don't need is the follow camera. Select it, hit the delete key on your keyboard. Same thing with the boom. Don't need that either. Delete that. Now, we can do a compile and save. And then right here, we're going to go back to our warning system here. Okay. And we're just going to copy a little bit of this code here. We're just going to select all of this. Okay. We're going to do a control C, go back to our police, and then do a control V. And then that way you can have the code there. Now, right underneath here, we want the police to chase us. So we're just going to do a CUST for custom and hit enter. And then we're going to call this chase. Okay. Now, for the chase, here's how the logic's going to go. First, we're going to have to create an AI move to node, which is this one. We can hook that up. For the pawn, it's our self, okay? That's who's we're activating, right? So we're going to get a reference to self by typing self. We're going to, for the destination, let's see, we're going to, actually the destination is not going to matter. We're going to chase the target actor, which is get player character. Yeah, get the player character, okay? And we're going to hook that up. So it's us chasing the player character all over level. That's all that's for. And then right here for the acceptance radiance, we're not going to do 5, we're going to do 50. So it's not right on the person, okay? Then we're going to do, let's see, we're going to right click and we're going to type in the word jump. And we're just going to use the regular default jump function. And actually we're going to duplicate that by, while it's highlighted, doing a control D. And then right here in the middle, this is funny, you're going to hold down the D button and do left click in the middle, and you're going to put a delay. Okay. So on success, once the AI sees the player, he's going to jump. There's going to be a slight delay. And he's going to jump again. And we're going to, instead of 0.2 seconds, we're going to do 1 second per each jump. It's just going to make more sense. Okay. We're going to do a compile and a save. Okay. While we're here inside of this here, we're going to go to the viewport, right? And we're going to select the character's mesh. If you look in the details panel, we're going to change the actual character mesh here. So let's just do a drop down. And instead of using Quinn, we're going to use the simple Manny, which is right here. And we can just do a compile and a save. Now, what we also want to do is right here on the element 0, we're going to select this and we're going to change it just to make the character look a little bit different, right? So what we want to do is we're going to type in refer. Let's see. Okay, here's an easier way we can do it because I'm not able to pull up what I want here. We're just going to go back to the content drawer, go back under all. We're going to select the filter. We're going to do the material, okay? And then what we want to do is we're going to just go ahead and do a refer, and that's what we should get. And what I want is, let's see, for this first one, I think I want, for the male, I'm just going to make him blue. So I'm going to highlight the blue right here. And then I'm just going to, let's see, go to the element 0 here and hit the arrow. And that's going to adjust the character, okay? So now we have a little bit of a difference between that character, okay? Do a compile and a save. Okay, we're not done yet. We're getting there. So let's go ahead and go to the content folder. And what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn off that filter again. We're going to go back to our content drawer. We're going to X this part out, go back to the blueprints, and what you want to do is you want to hold down the control button and do a left click on this character, right? Do another, while the control button's still up, do a left click here, and then while those two are selected, do a control D, okay? Now what that's gonna do is gonna make our other two parts of our warning system, Control Shift S. But now, Police 2, we're gonna change this character here, double click on that. And what we wanna do here is, oh, something I forgot. That's the problem with duplicating. You have to, if you don't do everything completely, it doesn't duplicate. So while we're here, let's go ahead and type in chase, okay? Click that here, highlight that here. Same like thing we did in the light part, okay? And then we do a compile and save, go back to Police 1, go back to the event, and same thing here. We're gonna have to put the chase thing here. So just go ahead and type in chase. Do the call function right here, okay? Compile, save. All right, now our police are looking the same, but let's go ahead and change this one. We're gonna select the mesh again. We're gonna go to where the skeletal mesh is, and we're gonna go back, and we're gonna select our Quinn Simple. And instead of using the same blue here, we're gonna just adjust it to where she looks a little bit different. And actually, yeah, we're gonna have to do like we did before. So just hit all, hit RE, refer, and that should be at the CE opaque. This is the one we want. Select that, go back to the character, under element 0, hit this little arrow here, and now this character is different as well. All right, it's time for us to head into the viewport, okay? All right, so right here in the viewport, let's see, we're going to zoom in right here, and we're gonna go ahead and drop our different characters here, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to the content folder, clear the reference, third person, blueprint, and what we wanna do is, we're going to first, let's start with our two lights here, right? So we're gonna do a control, and hold down left shift and drag both of them out, okay? We're gonna open that up, lower this down a little bit. And it's nice when it's combined like this because all you have to do is just move this here, right? Let me see, actually we'll move it pretty close, right here, okay? And then what we can do is click on the ground, then click back on the light, and then that way we can drag the two blueprints apart from each other, okay? Put them about that close. And actually, I'm gonna move this start position back a little bit. And right here, we're going to go back to the content folder. We're gonna take our warning system. We're just gonna drag it out. And we want the warning system, the thing that activates everything, to be right here, okay? And as we can see, we can just put it like so. Doesn't have to be perfect. Here I'm saying it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm taking all day to actually do it, right? So yeah, we can just add that there. And then we need to add our police officers, right? So we're gonna put one in each corner over here, I think. So we're gonna let's put the female red cop police officer right here. And let's go ahead and put the blue one over here, the male blue, right? And I'm hitting E to select the rotation tool. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing it. And then that's it. And then we want to do a Control Shift S to save our progress, okay? Okay, we're gonna hit the play button. Let's see, I'm just gonna, I guess, select inside the viewport. I'm hitting F11 just for the heck of it. And then right here, we're just gonna walk through. Notice that both of them are changing. Now you could change that by changing the delay in those, and then here they come. So we got them, oh my God, they're fast. So once they come, they jump up and down 2 times, and then they stop, and then that's it, okay? And then finally, we can walk right back through here, and they reactivate again. Now, let me show you this real quick bonus real quick, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hit the escape key, I'm gonna hit the F11 key, and okay, so right here, there's the scalability. So if you ever like put something into a project or environment that's really high, You can always adjust this to low or to medium, okay? So you got one position here, close that out, and then you have another one right here. So I hope you enjoyed that bonus tip. Nice, you completed the video. Let's see what you can do with the next one. Let's go.